This is Alaric from Stoic Way. Did you know your day truly begins before you even get out of bed? It begins in your mind. What you think in those first few minutes determines the trajectory of your actions, the weight of your worries, and the strength of your resilience. If you wake up lamenting, sluggish, defeated, you'll carry the day as an unyielding burden. But if you awaken with clarity, intention, and a solid purpose, you will use every moment as a stepping stone to grow and ascend. Waking up well is not luck. It's a choice. And that choice begins the moment you decide what to feed your mind. The moment your eyes open. The ancient Stoics understood this better than anyone. For them, each dawn was not an obstacle to be endured, but a fresh opportunity to train the mind and live in accordance with virtue. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome and great Stoic philosopher, he didn't wake up expecting the day to be easy. He woke prepared to face whatever came, with unshaken serenity and profound wisdom. When you rise in the morning, take a moment, reflect on the invaluable privilege of being alive, to breathe, to think, to love, to feel. Life owes you nothing, yet it offers you a brand new day in its entirety. What will you do with it? Will you squander it on meaningless distractions? On persistent complaints and mental noise? Or will you use every moment to fortify your mind, train your will, and grow more resilient? You can't control everything that will happen today. The unexpected challenges, the unkind words, the unforeseen disappointments. But you can control your attitude toward them. You can choose to react impulsively, carried by the waves of emotion, or choose to act with wisdom, with composure, with purpose. You can lament what you don't have, or strengthen yourself using what's already in your grasp. Resilience is not blind resistance. It is conscious adaptation, a faculty the Stoics cultivated relentlessly. Wisdom is not just knowing. It is right action, consistent, intentional, applied in every moment of your life. If you begin the day with your mind perfectly aligned, nothing can sway you from your chosen path. Now, before we delve into 12 life-altering Stoic meditations, I want to hear from you. How will your day be? If you're ready to walk this path with unwavering strength and clarity, write in the comments, "My day will be extraordinary." Leave a like to support this channel. Subscribe for more powerful daily reflections. And share this video with someone who needs it. Let's build a stronger mind together, one day at a time. Now, listen closely. These are 12 Stoic meditations to begin your day with resilience and wisdom. Now, listen closely. These are 12 Stoic meditations for your day to begin with resilience and wisdom. 1. The first thought of the day molds everything. Listen well. The way you begin your day defines the trajectory of everything that follows. The very first thought that arises upon waking is not just a reflection of your mind. It is a command. It can prepare you to face whatever comes with unyielding strength. Or it can cast you into a cycle of distraction and discouragement. You decide. Do you rise with determination? Or are you dragged by inertia? When you open your eyes in the morning, what is your first reaction? To complain about tiredness? To worry about your to-do list? To feel anger at facing another day? Or do you rise like a warrior, seeing the new day as a battlefield where you train your resilience, your patience, and your mental fortitude? Marcus Aurelius profoundly stated, "Very little is needed for a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." And that begins at dawn. Ponder this. If the first thought of the day is negative, what happens? It spreads like an uncontrolled flame, consuming your energy before you even get out of bed. If you start the day complaining, every small difficulty will appear larger, more burdensome. If you start with haste and anxiety, your mind becomes scattered, restless, unable to focus on what truly matters. But if you begin with gratitude, with conscious presence, and a clear purpose, you create a mental shield, resistant to whatever the day may bring. The human mind is like a garden. What you plant at dawn grows throughout the day. Plant seeds of worry, and you'll harvest anxiety. Plant complaints, and you harvest frustration. But plant strength, patience, and purpose, and you will reap a day that is productive, serene, and powerful. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. It doesn't matter what regrets or mistakes chase you. Today, right now, you have a new chance, a brand new day. So, when you wake tomorrow, before you reach for your phone, before you rise in a rush, pause, breathe, and ask, what will be the tone of my day? Consciously decide what you will feed your mind. Start with strength, not with self-doubt. Try beginning with a powerful affirmation. Something like, "Today is a good day to be strong," or "Nothing can shake me." Small mental rituals like this reprogram your mindset. Life is not about what happens to you. It's about how you respond. And your response is shaped by your mental state. You can wake up a victim of circumstance, or a master of your own mind. This doesn't mean ignoring life's problems. It means facing them with clarity, composure, and inner command. So tomorrow, when you open your eyes, remember this. Do not let your mind spiral into negativity. Dominate the first thought of the day. Set the tone with intention, with wisdom. For a day well begun has a far greater chance of being a day well lived. This is the Stoic principle of the dichotomy of control. mastering what is within your power, starting with the mind. Even before the world wakes, you can begin forging your inner peace and strength of will. Now say it with me. My first thought is my Stoic declaration. Write it in the comments. Show them. Show yourself. Show the world. Second meditation. Life is short. Don't waste it. Time does not ask permission to advance. It doesn't wait for you to be ready. Doesn't slow down for you to get organized. Nor does it grant a pause when you wish to restart. It simply proceeds. And with it, your life also passes, whether you perceive it or not. Many live as if there were an infinite stock of days available. They postpone important decisions, avoid facing challenges, and lose hours in empty distractions. But here's the harsh truth. No one knows how much time they still have. Death sends no warning. It doesn't knock on your door in advance. Marcus Aurelius reflected deeply on this, reminding us, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. There's a common illusion that tomorrow will always be there, waiting patiently. But tomorrow has never been guaranteed to anyone. How many opportunities have slipped through your fingers? Because of hesitation? How many words were left unsaid? Out of fear or pride? How many dreams stayed caged in the realm of intention? Because someone believed there's still time? The present is all that truly exists. Yesterday is memory. Tomorrow is uncertainty. But now is power. Avoiding procrastination doesn't mean acting impulsively. It means recognizing that every moment counts. Every small decision has impact. The day that seems ordinary is actually a precious fragment of your existence. If you treat each morning as a gift, if you value each opportunity, life begins to reveal its meaning. Neglecting time is one of the greatest causes of regret. It's not about haste. It's about purpose. The difference between someone who wastes life and someone who lives it fully is not about the time they're given, but how they choose to use it. Those who truly understand the finitude of life don't live in panic. They live with consciousness. They choose their battles. They dedicate themselves to what matters, and they let go of what doesn't. Nothing you have today is guaranteed forever. The people beside you, the opportunities that arise, even your own health, all are transient. And when you fail to see this truth, you begin to neglect what truly matters. You worry about the small things, accumulate resentments, and live as if you had another life in reserve. But death, far from being morbid, is a powerful reminder. Live with intention. There is no time for pointless anger, for shallow distractions, or for living a life that doesn't reflect who you truly are. Now, ask yourself, what would you do differently if today were one of your last? What worries would vanish? What actions would you finally take? If the answers are clear, then why are you waiting? Time is passing, whether you use it or not. The choice is yours. This is the essence of the Stoic meditation. Memento mori, remember that you must die. Its purpose is not to instill fear, but to sharpen your focus, to anchor your awareness in the present. Seneca said, "Live each day as if it were your last." And when you truly absorb this truth, you let go of the trivial, the noise, and the excuses. You become less tolerant of mediocrity, less patient with procrastination, and more aligned with meaningful action. This isn't about living in haste. It's about living with clarity and purpose. It's about using your energy only on what matters. Leaving behind a legacy, not of possessions, but of virtue. Meditating on death is not pessimism. It is the ultimate wisdom to recognize that your most precious resource is time, and it must be spent wisely. You can't add days to your life, but you can add life to your days. Use this Stoic wisdom to make every moment count. Etch this lesson into your mind. Third meditation. The world should not have power over you. As you wake and look around, from the very first instance of the day, the external world tries to invade your mind. Alarming news, urgent messages, problems that arise even before you've had your morning coffee. Unbeknownst to many, they surrender control of their thoughts to the chaos. They live in constant reaction instead of deliberate action. But a strong spirit is not one that gets dragged by life's whirlwind. It is one that maintains its own axis, holds its own pivot, no matter how wildly the external world spins. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. They didn't just anticipate challenges. They knew the only thing that truly belongs to us is our response. Epictetus said it best, "It's not things that disturb us, but our judgments about things." Nothing has the power to truly affect you without your permission. The words of others, the challenges of the day, the unexpected setbacks, they can exist, but they don't have to invade your peace. True strength is remaining centered while the world spins around you. Whoever depends on others' validation to feel worthy is forever a prisoner of opinion. Whoever lets small problems dictate their mood has handed over their joy to chaos. Whoever reacts impulsively to every situation will never find stillness. Freedom isn't escaping difficulty. It's not being enslaved by it. The secret to not being dominated by the world is to build an unshakable inner world. That means cultivating a strong mindset, immune to negativity. It means developing the discipline to not engage in pointless arguments, to not harbor resentment, to not let others' energy decide your day. Train your mind to be like a rock in the ocean. Waves may crash, but the rock remains firm. If someone offends you, you're not obligated to accept it. If a situation tempts you to lose your temper, you still have the power to choose. There's no greatness in being easily shaken, but there's deep strength in staying calm where others collapse in chaos. Think about the energy wasted every day on petty worries, traffic that irritates you, comments that offend you, frustrations that don't really matter. Instead of spending your strength reacting, save it for what truly matters. Choose your battles. Throughout the day, you'll be tested again and again. Someone will say something provoking. Plans will fall apart. Unexpected burdens will arise. But remember, you always have the power to choose your response. The world may pull in 1,000 directions, but your path is your own. Stand firm, and nothing can bring you down. This is the essence of the inner citadel, a core Stoic idea. Marcus Aurelius described it as a sanctuary within you that no one can touch. It's not escaping life. It's mastering it by mastering yourself. Not letting the world rule you is self-mastery. It's the daily practice of focusing only on what you can control. Now say it with me. I am my own Stoic fortress, impregnable to chaos. Write it in the comments. Live by it, and show the world the power of inner peace. Fourth meditation. Master your mind before it masters you. Thoughts arise all the time, unannounced, like clouds crossing the sky. Some bring clarity, others storms. Whoever does not observe their own thoughts ends up being carried away by them like a rudderless boat surrendered to the currents of chance. But whoever learns to steer their own mind decides where to go and does not let themselves be carried away by the wind of emotion or doubt. The problem is that few realize their greatest enemies are not out there, but within their own heads. Unfounded fears, exaggerated worries, memories that repeat without purpose. All of this can consume your energy even before the day begins. It's not reality that torments us, but how we interpret it. Is your mind trapped in past pains or future fears, leaving little room to live in the present? Training the mind is like strengthening a muscle. It requires repetition and discipline. It means learning to distinguish useful thoughts from destructive ones. A real problem needs a solution. But what about problems that only exist in the imagination? What about conversations you repeat in your mind? Arguing with people who aren't even present? That's not reflection. That's self-sabotage. Unfiltered thoughts can become invisible prisons. The Stoic is not one who ignores reality, but one who faces it without getting lost in it. They observe their emotions, recognize their impulses, but do not become slaves to them. Marcus Aurelius, even being the most powerful man of his time, understood that true strength lay in the mind. He said, "You have power over your mind, not over external events. Realize this, and you will find strength." One of the most effective ways to tame the mind is to practice distancing. Whenever a thought arises, ask yourself, does this deserve my attention? If the answer is no, let it go. If it's important, deal with it rationally. The mistake of most people isn't feeling fear, anger, or anxiety. That's human. The mistake is clinging to those feelings. letting them define their actions throughout the day. You will be challenged. Something will go out of control. Someone will test your patience. A worry will try to occupy your mind. What will you do in that moment? Will you give in to the impulse? Or maintain command? The choice is yours. The mind can be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. And the only person who decides that is you. When everything is calm, anyone can seem strong. But in difficult moments, that's when true resilience is revealed. Adversity is not a punishment. It's a test. A test for your mind, your patience, your discipline. What do you do when things don't go as expected? Do you complain? Do you give up? Or do you use it as fuel to become stronger? The world doesn't bend to your will. Unexpected circumstances will arise. People will disappoint you. Difficulties will appear without warning. But none of that defines you, unless you allow it. The Stoics saw each challenge as a training ground, an opportunity to forge character and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What impedes action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, what today seems like an obstacle is what you needed to grow. Think of the great minds in history, the men and women who left their mark on the world. None of them had an easy journey. All faced challenges that could have been used as an excuse to quit. But instead, they used each difficulty to grow. Adversity didn't destroy them. It molded them. And the same choice lies before you. The issue isn't facing difficulty, but how you respond. Those who give in to despair lose the chance to learn. Those who complain instead of acting waste the energy that could have been used to overcome. When a challenge arises, you have two choices. See yourself as a victim or as someone being shaped by life. The difference between growth and failure isn't luck. It's mindset. Great warriors aren't made in peace. The strongest steel is forged in fire. The greater the challenge, the stronger you can become if you choose to face it with the right mind. Pain, frustration, uncertainty. All of this can fuel your evolution, but only if you decide that nothing will bring you down. Today, no matter what comes, adopt the mindset of someone who uses everything to grow. If a challenge arises, ask, what can I learn from this? How can this make me wiser? Resilience isn't just about enduring pain. It's about turning it into strength. Life won't offer a path without obstacles, but it does offer the chance to grow through each one. Don't see hardship as an enemy. See it as a mirror, a chance to prove who you are. The fire of difficulty can either consume the weak or forge. Fifth meditation. Adversity is a test, not a punishment. When everything is calm, anyone can seem strong. But it is in difficult moments that one discovers who is truly resilient. who can stand firm against the storm. Adversity is not a punishment from fate or the universe. It is a test, a crucible for your mind, your patience, your discipline, and your unshakable will. Vu, what do you do when things don't go as expected? Do you complain and resent your fate? Do you give up at the first sign of trouble? Or do you use it as fuel, a powerful catalyst to become stronger, wiser, more resilient? The world does not bend to your will. Unexpected circumstances will always arise. People will disappoint you. Difficulties will appear without warning, like uninvited storms. But none of this has the power to define who you are unless you allow them to. The Stoics saw each challenge as a training ground, an arena to forge character and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius immortally wrote, "What impedes action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, what today seems like an insurmountable obstacle, what stands in your path, is precisely what you needed to grow, to expand your limits. Think of the greatest minds in history, the men and women who left an indelible mark on the world. None of them had an easy journey. All faced immense challenges, things that could have served as perfect excuses to give up, to retreat. But instead of surrendering to adversity, they used each difficulty to strengthen themselves, to sharpen their resolve. Adversity did not destroy them. It molded them, transforming them into more powerful versions. And the same choice is before you. The problem is not finding difficulties, but how you react to them. Whoever gives in to despair loses the opportunity to learn. Whoever complains instead of acting wastes precious energy that could be used to overcome. When a challenge arises, you have two clear options. See yourself as a victim of cruel fate, or as a student being refined by life, tempered to become better. The difference between those who grow and those who fail is not in luck or external circumstances, but in their mindset. Great warriors are not made in times of peace, where there is no pressure. The strongest steel is forged in the fiery heat of the furnace. The greater the challenge, the stronger you can become if you choose to face it with the right mindset, with unshaken Stoic spirit. Pain, frustration, uncertainty, all these are not signs of collapse, but can be potent fuel for your evolution. But only if you decide definitively that nothing can bring you down. Nothing can stop you. Today, regardless of what happens, adopt the posture of a Stoic, one who uses every situation to their advantage. If something difficult arises, calmly ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this make me wiser, more resilient? Resilience is not just passively enduring suffering. It is actively transforming it into strength. Life will not give you a path without obstacles. That is an undeniable truth. But it offers you the invaluable chance to grow through each one. Do not see challenges as enemies to be avoided, but as opportunities to prove to yourself what you are truly capable of, to push your own limits. The fire of difficulties can consume the weak or temper those who choose to resist and stand firm. For you, what will it be? That is your choice. Forge your spirit in the crucible of adversity. Sixth meditation. Choose your mood as you choose your clothes. Before leaving the house, you choose the clothes you'll wear. You check the weather. Decide between something comfortable or formal. Dress according to the occasion. But what about your mind? How do you prepare it for the day? Just as inadequate clothing can make you uncomfortable all day, a bad mental state can turn your day into a heavy burden. The problem is that most people don't realize they have a choice. They believe their mood is determined by external factors, as if they were at the mercy of events. But that's not the truth. How you face the day has a direct impact on your resilience. If you wake up irritated and cling to small setbacks, every difficulty will seem greater. But if you choose to start with clarity, with a strong mindset, nothing will have the power to bring you down. The Stoics understood this profoundly, and they prepared for daily challenges. In the same way a soldier prepares for battle, adjusting their mindset first. Epictetus reminds us, people are not disturbed by things, but by their view of things. Imagine two people facing the same day. Both wake up, go to work, deal with challenges, but one gets irritated by every small problem, while the other remains calm. What differentiates them? The way they chose to react. What happens around you can be unpredictable, but your attitude towards situations is under your control. No one can prevent challenges from arising throughout the day, but everyone can decide how to deal with them. You can choose whether small frustrations will dominate your mood, or you can maintain control over your emotions. You can decide that unforeseen events will not be enough to spoil your day. You can choose patience instead of irritation, clarity instead of confusion, strength instead of fragility. The secret to a productive day is not in avoiding problems, but in developing the ability to face them unshaken. Instead of allowing your mood to fluctuate with circumstances, make a conscious decision to carry a firm attitude with you. Just as no one would go out on a cold day without a suitable coat, no one should start the day without preparing their own mind first. Before leaving home, ask yourself, what attitude do I want to bring to my day? How do I want to feel, regardless of what happens? Adjust your mindset before the world tries to adjust it for you. If needed, have a phrase to repeat throughout the day, something that acts as a reminder of your purpose. Choose what you wear carefully, but choose the mental state you carry with you even more carefully. How you feel doesn't have to be dictated by others. You have more control than you imagine. Try taking on this responsibility, and you'll see that, regardless of circumstances, you can transform any day into a day of strength and growth. This is the core of Stoic self-mastery in managing your emotions. Seneca taught us that we cannot choose our circumstances, but we can choose how to respond to them. Choosing your mood is an act of inner freedom. It's not about pretending to be happy when you're not, but about controlling how you process those emotions and not letting them spoil your overall experience. The Stoic is not passive to emotional fluctuations. They are conscious observers, making rational choices about how they will allow emotions to impact them. This requires continuous practice and attentiveness to your inner dialogue. By proactively shaping your mindset, you create a mental resilience that nothing can shake. Ataraxia, tranquility, the goal of Stoic wisdom, does not mean the absence of emotion, but inner peace achieved through disciplined control over our judgments and reactions. You have the power to be your own source of light, even when the world around you is in chaos. Make that choice and feel the shift in your life. Choose your mood, Stoic. 7th meditation. Fear is a liar. Face the day without it. If there's anything that weakens a man even before he acts, it is fear. It settles in silently, like a shadow that grows without you noticing. A thought here, a doubt there, and by the time you realize it, you're completely paralyzed. Fear convinces you that you are fragile, that you will fail, that you are not good enough. It makes challenges seem greater than they are, that risks are impossible to face. But fear is a cunning liar. It exaggerates, distorts, creates obstacles that only exist in your mind. Those who let fear guide them always live on the sidelines of life, avoiding risks, avoiding discomfort, even avoiding opportunities. They don't try something new because they fear failure. They don't speak their minds because they fear judgment. They don't take the first step because they fear the unknown path. But the great truth is, nothing grows in the comfort zone. If you want to become stronger, you need to learn to act despite fear. The Stoics understood this deeply. They didn't deny the existence of fear, but they refused to be governed by it. Epictetus said, "Freedom is not achieved by satisfying desires, but by eliminating fear." In other words, it's not by avoiding challenges that you find peace, but by facing them head-on. Fear does not disappear on its own. It retreats when it realizes that you are not listening to it. Everyone has experienced fear at some point. However, the difference between those who move forward and those who stay behind is not in the absence of fear, but in how they deal with it. Whoever strengthens themselves learns that the only way to defeat it is to confront it. Postponing, fleeing, or hiding only makes it grow even larger. What seemed like a small concern becomes a gigantic monster when fed by hesitation. A good strategy for dealing with fear is to question it. 1. It arises saying, "What if it goes wrong?" But you can reply, "And what if it goes right?" 1. It insists, "What if I fail?" But you counter, "And what if I learn something valuable?" The mind has a habit of creating catastrophic scenarios that almost never happen. Fear loves to use the worst-case scenario as an argument, but rarely does that worst-case scenario materialize. Living with fear is an invisible prison. You may be standing, but you are chained. Each time you give in, each time you avoid an action for fear of what might happen, those chains tighten more. But the good news is that these chains are not real. They are forged by your own thoughts, and thoughts can be replaced. Today, throughout the day, observe how many of your decisions are influenced by fear. Does it prevent you from speaking, trying, or acting? If so, question it. Challenge that fear. Choose courage, for it is the only way to grow. Freedom is on the other side of fear, and only those who dare to cross it can truly live it. This is the essence of Stoic courage. Seneca wrote, "Fate guides the willing and drags the unwilling." Fear is often an illusion created by a lack of acceptance of what is beyond our control. By facing fear, you are not just overcoming an emotion. You are asserting your control over your judgments and reactions. The practice of premeditatio malorum, premeditation of evils, helps us mentally prepare for the worst possible outcomes, making them less daunting when they actually occur. When you've already thought about the worst, 1, fear loses much of its power. Fear prevents you from living a purposeful and virtuous life. 1. See fear not as a sign to stop, but as an invitation to act with discipline. True freedom is when you are not chained by hesitation, but are liberated to act in alignment with your values. Let fear become your compass, pointing you in the direction of growth. Act despite fear, like a Stoic. 8th meditation. Every person you meet is a test of your patience. Not all the day's challenges will come from big problems or unexpected situations. Very often, our greatest test of resilience arises from small daily interactions. Impatience in traffic, the rudeness of a stranger, the thoughtlessness of a close one. Every person who crosses your path has the potential to test your calm, your capacity for self-control, and your inner strength. How do you react to this? Do you let yourself be carried away by irritation? Or do you view each encounter as an exercise in emotional discipline? You cannot control the behavior of others, but you can decide how to respond. If every rude word you hear dictates your mood, then you are handing over your power to anyone who crosses your path. If every small disagreement makes you lose your balance, then your peace will be hostage to others' attitudes. Stoicism teaches that true mastery is not in changing others, but in maintaining your own serenity, regardless of what happens around you. It's easy to explode when someone acts hostilely. The natural instinct is to respond in kind, defend oneself, prove a point. But what's the use of that? What's the benefit of letting yourself be carried away by anger? Marcus Aurelius said, "When you wake up in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive. To breathe, to think, to love. If something so simple and fundamental as being alive is already a gift, why allow others' attitudes to spoil that gift?" There's a huge difference between reacting and responding. Whoever reacts, acts impulsively, without reflection, carried by the heat of the moment's emotions. Whoever responds, on the other hand, does so with consciousness, choosing their words and actions wisely. Before getting irritated with someone, pause for an instant and ask yourself, does this really deserve my energy? Will this discussion lead me somewhere productive? In most cases, the answer will be no. Patience does not mean passivity. It does not mean accepting injustice or allowing others to disrespect you. Rather, it means knowing how to choose your battles. Some provocations do not deserve a response. Some discussions are not worth your time. Some criticisms do not need to be absorbed. Your inner peace must be protected as something sacred, not surrendered to anyone who decides to provoke you. The world is full of people trapped in their own frustrations, spreading their negativity without even realizing it. What happens if you allow that to affect you? You become a reflection of those people, replicating the very behavior you should avoid. But if you decide to act differently, you not only protect your mind, but also set an example for those around you. Today, when someone tests your patience, see it as an opportunity, not a problem. Every interaction is a chance to prove to yourself that you are in control. There is no weakness in staying calm. Strength lies in those who learn this lesson early, who live with more lightness and purpose. This is a powerful application of the Stoic principle of ataraxia, tranquility. The goal is not to be emotionless, but not to be overwhelmed by emotions. Seneca, in his letters, frequently spoke of the importance of maintaining inner calm amidst external disturbances. He compared the mind to a fortress that no one can enter without our permission. No matter how fierce the external storm, you can choose to maintain inner peace. The dichotomy of control is central here again. You don't control what others say or do, but you control how you judge and react. Transform difficult interactions into opportunities to practice self-mastery, to train your ability to maintain calm even when provoked. This requires the courage to step back, breathe deeply, and consciously choose your response, rather than reacting on instinct. Let your patience be living proof of your stoic strength, a signal to the world that you are your own master, not a slave to circumstances or others' behavior. Cultivate your stoic patience. Ninth meditation. The day will pass anyway. Make it worthwhile. Time does not ask if you are ready. It follows its course, indifferent to your worries, desires, and regrets. Today, as you breathe, minutes are running out. What do you do with them? Do you let them slip away without purpose? Or do you use them to build something meaningful, something lasting? The day will pass, regardless of your choices. So why not choose to make it useful, to make it count? Many waste hours waiting for the right moment to act. They postpone important decisions, put dreams aside, believing that one day they will be more prepared. But that perfect day never comes. The ideal time to start anything is not tomorrow, not next week. It is now. Every moment of hesitation is a lost moment. Every instant of procrastination, an opportunity that will never return. Stoic philosophy teaches that we have no control over time, but we have control over how we use it. Marcus Aurelius reflected on this when he said, "Waste no more of your life in arguments about what a good man should be. Be one." In other words, stop waiting for ideal conditions to live according to what you believe. Time doesn't care about your excuses, but it rewards those who decide to act. The feeling of waste does not come from physical exhaustion, but from the regret of not having done what was necessary. Have you ever had days where you felt you produced nothing of value? Days that passed without leaving any mark? That feeling does not come from lack of time, but from lack of intention. The secret is not in doing much, but in doing what truly matters. The focus should not be on the quantity of tasks completed, but on their impact. If you spend the day solving problems that lead nowhere, the feeling of exhaustion will be inevitable. But if you choose your actions wisely, every small victory will bring motivation to move forward. That's why defining a daily purpose is essential. Not a gigantic, unattainable goal, but something concrete that, at the end of the day, will make you feel it was worthwhile. Nothing prevents you from transforming an ordinary day into a significant one. You can learn something new, improve a skill, strengthen a relationship, or simply decide to face challenges with more calm. Small daily choices build a destiny. What you choose to do today defines the person you will become tomorrow. Whatever your reality, one thing is certain: the hours will continue their course. You can spend them on distractions, laments, and postponements, or you can use them to grow. At the end of the day, the question will not be, "Did time pass?" Because it always does. The question will be, "What did I do with it?" This is the essence of living a purposeful Stoic life. While we cannot control time, we absolutely control how we allocate our energy and attention in every moment. Seneca taught, "When a man does not know what harbor he is heading for, no wind is favorable." Having a clear purpose for each day is key to avoiding waste and procrastination. It is the practice of prokopton, continuously improving oneself through intentional actions. Do not let life pass you by. Embrace every moment with clarity and intention. Turn every second into an opportunity to live in accordance with virtue and build a meaningful life. What if living each day as a masterpiece is the path to true fulfillment? A kind of joy that transcends what you can achieve by living passively? Make time your Stoic ally. Live with intention, Stoic. 10th meditation. Pressure is a privilege. It means you are alive. Few people view pressure as something positive. Most treat it as a burden, the source of constant stress and fatigue. But think about it. What is pressure, if not a sign that you are in motion? That there are challenges to overcome, responsibilities to fulfill, and opportunities to seize? Whoever doesn't feel pressure is often stagnant. Whoever flees from it avoids growth. The Stoics did not fear pressure. They used it as a tool to become stronger. They knew that a comfortable and unchallenged life does not produce wisdom or resilience. It is in discomfort that true growth happens. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor strengthens the body." Just as a muscle needs challenge to grow, your mind needs pressure to become stronger, more resilient. Avoiding challenges might seem like the easier path, but in the long run, it leads to fragility. Whoever has never faced difficulty becomes incapable of handling even the slightest adversity. Pressure teaches. Pain tempers. Responsibility molds character. If you feel you have too much on your shoulders, see it as a privilege. It means you have something to protect, something to fight for, something worth your effort. The difference between those who prosper and those who collapse under pressure lies in mindset. Those who complain about the weight of daily life waste energy resisting reality. But those who accept pressure and learn from it become unshakable. Stoicism teaches us, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "How can I grow from this?" Great leaders, athletes, warriors, thinkers, they all faced immense pressure. But instead of bowing down, they used it as fuel. They understood that life rewards not those who flee from pressure, but those who rise to meet it. The pressure you feel today might be exactly what elevates you to new levels of maturity, intelligence, and inner strength. If today feels heavy, if responsibilities are many, if decisions seem hard, do not see it as punishment. See it as training. Every situation demanding more from you is sharpening your endurance. Every moment of tension prepares you for future greatness. Wish not for a life without difficulties. Wish for a mind strong enough to endure them. Remember, you carry responsibilities because you're capable of bearing them. Pressure is a reminder that you are alive, growing, becoming stronger, and that, in itself, is a privilege. This is the Stoic principle of amor fati, the love of one's fate. Pressure is not an enemy. It is a sacred part of your path, something to be embraced. Marcus Aurelius said, "What impedes action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Use pressure as the forge for your virtues. Resilience, courage, discipline. Let it fuel your growth, not your fear. By changing your perception of pressure, you transform it from stress into strength. Make pressure your Stoic ally. Turn pressure into your Stoic power. 11th meditation. The world is agitated, but you can be serene. The noise outside never ceases. Traffic, news, work demands, people's expectations. everything seems to pull you into a constant state of agitation. Amidst this, the mind easily becomes a reflection of external chaos, restless, scattered, overwhelmed. But does it have to be this way? The world may be in flames, but within you can exist a place of absolute tranquility. The Stoics did not seek to control the outside world. They knew it was impossible. Instead, they worked to control themselves. The storm may rage outside, but you don't need to be carried away by it. Just as the ocean's surface can be wild, its depths remain calm. You too can cultivate a calm beneath your surface. Serenity does not mean passivity. It does not mean ignoring problems or pretending nothing is happening. It means choosing how to respond. It means observation before reaction. It is knowing that peace does not come from outside, but from the way you interpret the world. Many are swept away by society's pace. They wake rushing, jump from task to task, overloaded with information, ending the day exhausted. But exhaustion isn't always from doing too much. It often comes from not being present. Busy is not the same as productive. Living in constant haste blinds us to what matters. Serenity must be cultivated. Small pauses during the day make a difference. One deep breath before reacting can completely shift the outcome. Choose your battles. Not everything deserves your energy. Sometimes, silence is the answer. Sometimes, stillness is strength. A serene mind is not an empty mind, but one that stays grounded when the world shakes. True mastery lies in inner stillness. The world may push in 1,000 directions, but how you respond is always your choice. So today, as the day unfolds, remember, you are not required to absorb others' chaos. You are not obligated to carry their expectations. Peace can exist within you, even when the world outside is in flames. This is not weakness. This is power. To be the calm in the storm. That is one of life's greatest achievements. This is the essence of Stoic ataraxia tranquility. The goal is not to feel nothing, but not to be ruled by feeling. Seneca said, "We cannot choose the winds, but we can set the sails." You cannot control the world, but you can master your mind. Mindfulness and presence are the keys. When you focus on what is yours to command and accept what is not, you create an unshakable space within. Make serenity your Stoic strength. Let it be your quiet refuge, where you recharge, find clarity, and return to the world with purpose. What if inner peace is the true source of your power? Something you never saw while caught in the world's noise? Be the peace in chaos, Stoic. 12th and final meditation. Every obstacle carries a hidden opportunity. Not everything that arises in your path is a blockade. Very often, what seems to impede your progress is actually redirecting you to a better path, one you might never have considered. The problem is that few have the patience and wisdom to see this. When something goes wrong, the common reaction is to complain, to get discouraged, or to give up. But whoever adopts this posture loses the opportunity that exists in the midst of the challenge. Life does not throw obstacles at you to punish you, but to mold you, to forge you into a stronger version. The Stoics saw every difficulty as an exercise in growth. Marcus Aurelius reminds us of this when he wrote, "What impedes action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that instead of fighting challenges, we should use them as stepping stones. If something didn't go as expected, calmly and consciously ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I emerge from this situation stronger than I entered? This kind of mindset completely changes your relationship with difficulties. Everyone who has achieved success in any area had to deal with setbacks. No one grows without challenges. An athlete who wants to become stronger needs resistance to train. An artist needs to fail many times before achieving mastery. A leader needs to face crises to develop wisdom. No great achievement comes without effort. And no true progress happens without obstacles in the way. Most people see problems only from the negative side. They focus on what they lost, what went wrong, what didn't go as planned. But what if instead you started asking, what new possibility arose from this? What is this situation teaching me? This shift in thinking doesn't eliminate difficulties, but it makes them work in your favor. Resisting reality doesn't change it. If an obstacle appears, fighting it irrationally will only increase suffering. Stoicism teaches that we should accept what cannot be changed and act wisely on what is within our reach. If a path is closed, perhaps it's a sign to explore another direction. If a mistake was made, it may contain a valuable lesson. It all depends on how you choose to see events. Consider the most difficult moments of your life. At the time, they seemed unbearable. But today, looking back, perhaps you realize that they were what made you grow, taught you important lessons, and strengthened your resilience. This means that current challenges may also be preparing you for something greater. When an obstacle arises, do not ask, "Why is this happening to me?" despairingly, but rather, "What can I do with this?" calmly. Facing difficulties is inevitable, but being defeated by them is optional. If you learn to see the hidden opportunities within challenges, nothing will be able to stop you. Every obstacle can be a weight that holds you down, or a springboard to something greater. The choice will always be yours. This is the core of the Stoic meditation on transforming adversity, turning the impediment into the way. This directly ties into the principle of amor fati, not just accepting what happens, but finding purpose and meaning in it. Marcus Aurelius perfectly summarized it. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When you face an obstacle, you are facing an opportunity to practice resilience, patience, and creativity. Do not despise challenges. See them as your greatest teachers. They don't just teach you lessons. They forge you into the person you are meant to become. Turn every obstacle into a Stoic moment of growth. Turn the impediment into the way, Stoic. These powerful meditations are your weapons for today and for every day that follows. What happens around you does not define who you are. What defines you is how you choose to react. True strength lies in action, not just in contemplation. If this message has resonated with you, show your commitment. Comment, "I stayed until the end." I want to see who is truly ready to turn every day into new training for the mind, who has truly embraced the Stoic philosophy. And before you go, fortify our channel. Leave a like for this video. Subscribe to Stoic Way with Alaric. And share this video with someone who needs to hear this powerful reminder today. Let's build a community of resilient Stoic souls together, who live with purpose and strength. Life does not wait for you. So, walk, and walk like someone who knows where they are going. Use each of these meditations as a lighthouse, guiding you through every challenge, every adversity. Become a living testament to the power of Stoic self-mastery. Turn every moment into a declaration of your inner strength. Let every step be a legacy of wisdom and resilience. I will see you in the next video, where we will continue to explore the depths of ancient wisdom for modern living. Until then, stay Stoic and stay powerful